Hey there, my friend. Welcome to another weekly market pulse. Today is Friday the 13th of March. I hope you're having a fantastic week. We are red. So if you're on the short side of this market, maybe you're doing really, really well. If you're on the long side, well, I hope you're in the right stocks so that you're doing well. Otherwise, it's a tough slog out there. Bombs are dropping and things are blowing up. And hopefully, it's not your portfolio that is, and you're playing it pretty safe. Because I told you last week we're going into a red market. And I wasn't lying. So let me see if I can share my screen and kind of just show you what's going on, what we talked about in our meeting just a few minutes ago. I can't get into everything. A lot of the stuff was stuff that we talk about in our mastermind group, some intensive stuff. Speaking of intensive, we have an event coming up in April in Phoenix, just outside of Phoenix in Chandler, Arizona, April 17th through 19th. If you haven't registered for that, now would be a good time to do that because we're going to keep it small. It's called the Strategy Intensive, which means that I'm going to go pretty deep on a lot of things. We're going to talk about how to analyze the market. We're going to talk about the things that I'm looking at, covered call strategies, how to protect your account, and then you're going to meet some really cool people. I know a bunch of them that are coming, so I can say that with confidence. And then you're going to meet some like-minded people that you've never met. Maybe you make a friend for life. But bottom line is, we're going to show you how to make money in this market and other markets as well. And certainly love to have you there. It's a pretty cool place. Looks like it's a really nice resort with lots of cool palm trees and a golf course. And if you haven't registered, now's a good time to do it. Okay, enough. By the way, I always remind everybody, do you have a circuit breaker built into your trading plan? Do you even have a trading plan? Like, I hope you do, because you need them, certainly in a market like this. Let's talk about what's going on in the market. So look at this chart. This is the QQQ. The QQQ is the Nasdaq highly technical or technology focused stock. Lousy, right? Like this is a lousy, lousy chart. And you could see that we had an opportunity right up here where it was above the 50-day moving average more than a month ago to get out. The stock couldn't make new highs, remember? And I was like, well, this is the weakest of the markets, but maybe it will pull everybody up, but it didn't. And it basically kind of pulled everybody down. And, of course, macroeconomic events didn't help. All right, so that's the Nasdaq. Everything else is going to look about the same. We did have a bounce last week, on an announcement, but then we came back down. I believe we're going to test that 200-day moving average again. Look at this one. Same kind of thing, but it's the S&P 500. It's a little bit elevated. The Dow Jones, same thing. Like it wants to go and test the 200-day moving average too. Like there's a lot of selling going on. Like don't try to be holding up this boulder that's coming down the mountain. It's not happening. The New York Stock Exchange, same thing. It's way above the 200, but it is below the 50. Nothing good happens if you're a bull below the 50. So be careful, right? You can always come back and buy stuff later. Just you can get out and come back and buy it. This is why. This is the panic index. It hit 35 5 days ago. Yeah, it's back down but it's still trending up. So there's a lot of volatility going on. And like I said, I think we're going to chop around until this whole thing gets finished out in the Middle East. Will it ever be finished? It's never been finished since I've been alive. But like, when this really intensive action gets finished, then maybe we'll get a little bit more normal market. Um, just want to show you uh, some of the really nasty stuff that's out there. The gold bugs in the last 4 weeks is down 7.5%. The silver is down 7. The airlines, look at the airlines in a month down 24%. The housing down 17%, 16.7%. The banks are down 10%. There's a lot of stuff that's systemic out there that's in some trouble. And hopefully you're not in any of those sectors. But like you got to pay attention, right? There's some nasty stuff going on. All right, here's the gold bugs index. I just talked about it. It is breaking below the 50-day moving average. Not a lot of support going on. It needs some love to get back over the 50. We'll see if it does that. Here's the airlines. Isn't that horrible? Like imagine being in the airlines. Nobody wants to travel right now. Energy is expensive. Bombs are going off and, a couple of planes are crashing here and there. Not so good, right? So that's why you're getting a lot of that. It's down below the 200-day moving average. Yeah, it'll probably pull a rebound here at some point, but you got to look at the chart and go, what the this is in play. I can't read that. I think that's 57 something, 57.99. That swing point is in play, and it's not far away from that. It's 59 now. The Treasury notes, money is moving to the safe, quote unquote, safe things. I'm not a big believer in the Treasuries right now because we're just printing money. And, over time, I'm not a big believer in the dollar as an investment, right? As a safe money place, right? I think it's just inflationary. All right, looking at Apple, this is a big cup and handle formation here. I don't think it can handle too much more of this. Even if it's light volume selling, I don't think it can handle too much more of it. Apple did stumble into an AI play where these Mac Minis, because they have this unified memory in their architecture, is able to handle some of these AI agents. So Apple got lucky and didn't have to spend the kind of money that some of its competitors are spending. So to me, Apple is a strong one in the bunch, but right now this chart doesn't look very strong. That's because the whole market is red. But keep an eye on this, have it on your watch list. But it's under the 50. It needs to get back over the 50 before you can even look at it. Same thing with Tesla. This is hugging the 200-day moving average. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit when it hugs the 200-day moving average. That's not good, right? If it holds it, great. If not, it's got some 382 love at the bottom of that. Watch out for that. Gold shares. I'm in a gold trade right now. GLD doing covered calls, but it is in a slight downtrend, kind of a maybe a bear flag going on, or maybe just a descending triangle that hopefully it needs to recover. But it is above the 50, and I feel that that's giving it a little bit of strength. Nvidia, same as it ever was, like 3 months, it's just kind of flat, hovering around its 50-day moving average. Excuse me, it's below that right now. Uh, no reason to buy it, no reason to sell it. I don't think anything's going on until they make some announcements or something happens. But when this does go, it's going to be nice. AMD, same kind of thing. It's just broken down. It looks like it's bounced off its 200-day moving average and maybe want to go up and test that 50. We'll see. Everybody's been waiting for AMD to do the same thing that Nvidia's done. It just hasn't done it. We got a double top going on here with these two highs right in here. Micron Technology uh, looks really strong to me. It pays a lot of juice if you're a covered call seller, even in the money to protect your downside. Got a 99 relative strength. Like, keep an eye on this. I'm not saying buy it. I don't ever tell you what to buy and sell, but like to me, you want to buy the strongest ones. You want to have the strongest ones on your watch list because when these lousy markets start to go back up, then these stocks also do the same. SanDisk looks very similar to Micron. It's bouncing up into this descending resistance level. I think it's probably fine. Doesn't matter what I think. The chart is telling us that it's above all the major moving average, so it's probably fine. Broadcom is it's pulling off this little uh, swing point touch at 352 and back down below the 50. But to me, this one looks short term, kind of strong, right? It's selling off on low volume. It wants to go to this 352 again and break out. I mean, it's got some work to do to get back up over the 50, but it's kind of the same story. The ETF that's energy is just going crazy. Why? Because, well, oil is up and because lots of energy plays are going on with AI. This is the kind of chart you want to be in. So we want to try to catch those early. And this was a breakout about 3 months ago. And if you caught it early, great. Amazon, look, this I gotta be honest. I like Amazon. I use them like crazy, but I think they're making some mistakes, spending way too much money on AI right now, and that's affecting their earnings. It might be great a couple of years from now, but right now the chart is showing that the company is not going to be very profitable and certainly going to have a reduction in profit. That's affecting on the chart. If you're in this, you don't want to wait through all that. You want to buy this thing on strength. Right now, there's a death cross right here. And so that is a weakening of Amazon. Just be careful on Amazon. Meta, my own opinion is they're screwing up also in AI. They're overspending on AI and they're not delivering the products that they're supposed to deliver. And so we saw it spike up to 744, but now it's back to 620. How would you like to have sat through that? Thinking that Meta was, a buy on sale here. And I guess it was. But look, it's down at 620 below the 50-day moving average. It had a death cross here. Like there's all kinds of signs that you shouldn't have bought this. And so I hope you're not suffering. I hope you didn't buy it because to me, this thing does not look healthy at all. 33 relative strength. Microsoft, same story. I don't know anybody that uses Copilot, guys. Like that's their AI plan. And now they've coupled up with Claude. to kind of bolster their Copilot. And maybe that works, maybe it doesn't. All I know is that anybody that has Microsoft, and a lot of people do, they don't use their AI. They use Claude or Gemini, or they use OpenAI, ChatGPT. So anyway, we'll leave it there. Those are some of the big stocks. Obviously, the charts kind of look similar. They're all rolling over to the downside. Hopefully, the downside will end as soon as conflict ends. I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon, but it could happen tomorrow over the weekend. That's kind of when these things get announced. Today's Friday the 13th, so maybe that's a sign that it gets like the bad news out of it today, and Saturday the 14th is better. I don't know. I'm an optimist. Bottom line is there are opportunities out there, but you don't need to be a hero because you don't need to be buying stocks on sale. That's the worst time to buy a stock is on weakness. The best time to buy a stock is on strength, right? And that's also the best time to sell a stock, ironically. Listen, thanks for tuning in. I always love to hear the comments that you all give me on these Fridays where I take some time and kind of give you my take on the market. For whatever it's worth, if you watch two or three people on Friday or whatever do these, you're going to get a good painting of the market, right? I don't have all the answers. I have very few, but I just read the charts like I read them. I've been doing it for a long time, and so I think I've gotten okay at it. And maybe you could take one or two ideas from it and pile them onto somebody else's ideas that are out there and come up with your own ideas because you're smarter than all of us. I trust me on that. You just need some practice and all that kind of stuff. But you're smarter than most of the people on TV because they're giving you the wrong answers in a lot of cases because they're talking their book. Anyway, if you haven't registered for Arizona, this is the kind of stuff we're going to be talking about. And we're going to be talking about covered calls. And we shoot for 1 to 2% a week. That's kind of our thing. And if you've been in our programs, you know what I'm talking about. Love to see you there. If I don't, thanks for tuning in, watching the Market Pulse. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll catch you next week. Take care.